Patchy Mix's grandfather was his father figure. Brought him to all of his wrestling tournaments as a kid. Never missed a match. He gave Patrick the nickname Patchy before he passed away at 87. His grandfather always believed that Patchy was destined for great things, and again, he is on that journey, but runs into a very stiff test in the form of Magomed Magomedov. John, practically a pick'em as we go to the tail of the tape.
And that just shows by the records that we're looking at. 16-1 for Patchy Mix, 19-2 for Magomed Magomedov. These are two of the best bantamweights in the world.
With the official introductions of the first of our semifinal matchups in the Bantamweight World Grand Prix, here once again, Michael C. Williams.
Bellator MMA now features the semi-final round of the $1 million Bantamweight World Grand Prix. Set for five 5-minute rounds live on Showtime. We introduce the blue corner. At 5'7", weighing in 134.4 pounds after an opening round submission win, he enters with 19 professional victories, just 2 losses, holding the number 4 ranking, presenting Magomed Tiger Magomedov. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the red corner at 5'11", weighing in 135 pounds, even with a decisive victory in the opening round. He brings a professional record, including 16 wins, only 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, the former world title challenger, now ranked at number 2, Patchy Mix. In charge of the action, your referee, Dan Murgliata.
All right, gentlemen, been through the rules in the locker room. Once me and my commanders a little time, want to protect yourselves a little time. Touch gloves, good job. Got your quarters, good luck.
Who will be the first to book passage to the Bellator Bantamweight World Grand Prix Final? Patchy Mix with 8 first-round finishes, looking to win his 4th straight. Magomed Magomedov. He is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt with 9 of his 19 victories coming via submission, including in his last fight. So we had Mix vanquishing a former bantamweight belt holder here in Bellator in Horiguchi, and Magomedov submitting Enrique Barzola. Number 2 Mix versus number 4 Magomedov. And of course, Mix the biggest of the remaining competitors in the field, physically speaking, John.
Physically speaking, for a bantamweight, he is huge, super tall, very long reach for a bantamweight. But Magomed's not far behind. Different types of physiques, but watch out for the spinning attacks and the speed of Magomedov. He is quick when he decides to go.
Mix told us that it's simple. He wants to dominate him and finish, looking to impose his will and skill. Cut off Magomedov, hunt him down, and, well, if he had his druthers, there's a reason he's called the human backpack, and as has been discussed throughout the night, Magomedov has a habit of giving up his back in almost every one of his fights.
That's one of the keys to this, because that's why the whole thing has got to scramble the top, because if he ends up underneath, I know he's going to give his back, and that is not a good thing and not something you should do with Patchy Mix.
Good striking from Magomedov. They're able to curl the left hook around Mix's guard and then go to the sternum with the jab.
Mix is doing a very nice job of sticking that jab in the middle of Magomedov's face. He just keeps on going back to it. There he goes again.
Aggressive Magomedov, however, coming forward, landed a body kick as well. There's Mix, though, walking him down, landing the 1-2 from the southpaw stance.
No more, the jab is something in MMA. It is so underutilized by so many fighters, and it can be so effective in the fight. Magomed's having a lot of trouble with the length of Patchy Mix right now. He's trying to figure the way, the solution to get inside to land his shots.
And Mix just hammering. Well, there's Magomedov catching Mix's kick. Magomedov looking to deliver the takedown. Mix attacking the neck.
But he doesn't have it. It's on the wrong side of that. He's trying to get the leg over. There he goes. And comes out on top. And that's where Magomed needs to be very careful. Now it's tight.
Magomed Magomedov has never been finished.
Patchy needs to be very careful about straining his arms here. If you have it, go for it. If you don't, come out on top right here, let go of it, and maintain the position.
Mix hunting for his 10th submission win. 3 of them have been via guillotine choke. Last one came New Year's Eve 2019 in Japan against Yuki Motoya. And we will, of course, be calling New Year's Eve extravaganza from the Saitama Super Arena. Team Bellator versus Team Rising from Saitama Super Arena. Mix now working diligently from north-south.
He's taking his time. He knows where he's at with the position. He's just taking his time, looking to say, do I go for an anaconda? That's what he's really looking at, and deciding, no, right now I don't have it.
And Magomed Magomedov returning to his feet. 1.5 minutes left in the first, schedule for 5 5-minute rounds. Mix training out of Extreme Couture under the tutelage of MMA vet Jake Shields. Magomed Magomedov, Dagestan Fighter Club, has also been a member of the school of Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, the late patriarch, the father of the legendary Habib Nurmagomedov, and now again sprawling here north-south. Mix putting his weight on Magomedov.
Magomedov needs to be careful with that right arm. Right now, Mix is almost past, and he can take the back. It's going to snap him down and swing around to the back if he gets past that arm. This right arm right here has a lot of emphasis right now for Magomed.
30 seconds left in the opening round. A knee to the midsection as they separate. Patchy Mix with a strong opening round. Lead left hook just glances off the face of Mix by Magomedov. But Magomedov has to go back to the drawing board here after the first round. Good start for Patchy Mix.
You see the corner of Patchy Mix there, Nate Pettit there giving him instructions.
Looking for Quarter Nelson.
And one of his main trainers, Jake Shields, as you said, is not here for him. Jake Shields had his daughter and needed to take care of her, so Patchy Mix without one of his coaches, but he's got 2 fantastic guys with him.
And for Magomed Magomedov, I mean, I talked about going back to the drawing board. He 1 for 3 in the takedown department.
Okay, ready?
20 to 5. He was, you know, outlanded by, only landed 5 strikes according to our stats. So what adjustments does he already need to make here in round 2, John?
Well, he needs to make a lot, because with his hands, he hasn't really hit anything. He's hit a couple of kicks, so those are counting as strikes, but they've been very low impact kicks. Not a whole lot on him, nothing as far as damage. Magomed's got to figure out he's having a problem with the length of Patchy Mix. See right there, he lunges in.
Body kick. And
nice kick there, but he lunges in trying to get into that space. But again, you get into this grappling situation, and so far, he's come out second best in the grappling situations too, so he's going to have to figure out a route. He has taken away all of his spinning attacks. Normally, he's going after his opponents with a lot of spinning attacks. Nothing, because he doesn't want Patchy Mix to take his back.
Magomedov trying to navigate his way in, overcome the reach advantage of Patchy Mix.
Nice high kick by Mix. Notice the Patchy keeps on with the parrying hand of Magomedov, that left hand. He keeps on slapping it down, slapping it down and trying to come over the top.
Although Magomedov was able to sneak one over the top, you're right, for the most part, Mix has been able to stymie the attack. Again, Patchy Mix's lone defeat was in a battle against Juan Archuleta for the vacant Bellator Bantamweight Championship at Bellator 246 back in September of 2020. Since then has reeled off 3 consecutive wins. And there's a knee to the midsection of Magomedov.
Very nice knee. You know, one of the things that Magomedov is looking to utilize in this fight is conditioning, and he thinks that he can out-condition and push Patchy Mix.
Oh, and there's good timing by Magomedov. Mix goes for the low kick, entry, takedown, but what a reversal by Mix.
This is the whole point, man. You got to end up in the top position. His head's down. Patchy keeps on reaching through. He gets the reversal. Now he's in a good choke.
Protect you.
Very nice, and he's got that leg. That is going to keep him with his head bent. Not an easy position to be in. Patchy needs to hold on to his arm right there. Keep that leg. That choke will work.
Patchy Mix has put Magomed Magomedov to sleep. Mamma mia! The Patchy Mix Express continues rolling in the Bantamweight World Grand Prix. Takes on a former Bellator champion in Kyoji Horiguchi, and now becomes the first fighter to finish Magomed Magomedov. Patchy Mix en fuego.
En fuego. What a performance by Patchy Mix. You know, when I saw him, once he got that leg, I go, that is tight. You saw him adjust his hands. There's no way, if your head is bent in that position, for you to maintain the ability to stay with it. You've got to get out. Here you see Patchy gets on top. Look at him control the leg. He's got the leg now with his. All he has to do is get his hands set now. There he goes. He pushes on it. Look at the bend in the neck on Magomed. Magomedov is in trouble right here. Patchy readjusts the hands, and at this point, he is stuck. You can see him trying to get his leg free. That's his way out, and when it doesn't happen, he goes unconscious.
We talked about his fight IQ getting better. He's on his way to graduating with honors. Let's make it official with Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, the guillotine choke brings it to a conclusion officially. 2 minutes, 39 seconds into round number 2. Now earning his place in the finals of the $1 million Bantamweight World Grand Prix, Patchy Mix.
Big John McCarthy about to talk to the first finalist of the $1 million Bantamweight World Grand Prix.
I'm here with your winner, Patchy Mix. Patchy, that was as good a performance as you could have put on. Your stand-up was outstanding. Your jab was giving him problems. Your length was giving him problems. And your grappling, every time he decided to try to take you down, you changed the position and you put him in danger.
So credit to all my training partners, Harry St. Ledger, Extreme Couture, my boy Kobe Fair out there, freaking everybody out there, you know, my girl Tatiana, everybody that I train with, all my training partners. I got so many from Extreme Couture that you know, it's a testament to them. 10 weeks of hard work, man. Me and my man Kobe got after this camp, you know.
I'll tell you what, you just took out a guy that everyone knows how good he is. This puts you in the finals of the World Bantamweight Grand Prix and puts you in a position to win $1 million on top of what you already make. How does that make you feel?
This brings me down to earth, man. You know, I feel normal right now. This is the position I should be. I wasted my first title opportunity. You know, I was just a little inexperienced. I was a little immature, man. Now I'm older, I'm wiser, and I'm doing the right thing. So I'm training to be a world champion, and I'm expecting the results. You know, major shout out to my team, but you best assure I'm coming for that fucking title.
Ladies and gentlemen,